American Cuban French essayist Anais Nin once said, "There's not one big cosmic meaning for all, only the meaning we give our life, an individual meaning, an individual plot, like an individual novel, a book for each person." My name's Lauren Engelmeyer, and over the past 8 weeks we've gotten to know each other through our assignments and videos. One thing you don't know about me, though, is I actually intended on ending my life years ago, but obviously I didn't, and I'm still here. And you want to know why? I figured out the meaning of my life. I believe knowing why you are here and what you are doing on this earth will improve your thoughts and actions and lead to a more successful and purposeful life. Over the next couple of minutes, I'd like to discuss a few points, and those points being what the definition of the meaning of life is, why each person's meaning of life is different and why that's okay, and finally, how we can use this newly learned information to better our future self. So let's get into this, shall we? The first point is, what does the meaning of life mean for me? Well, as I mentioned above, I actually intended on ending my life about 7 years ago. Once I was preparing for that final moment, I actually started to I broke down and cried and cried and cried, remembering all my family and friends and 4 children I'd leave behind. And as corny and as obvious as this may sound to some people, that's kind of when I realized I had a purpose on this earth. I didn't know what it was at the time, but I did. I started to think about everything that I enjoyed and different people I liked to hang out with and what I'd like to do. And that's when I realized I was put on this earth to give voice to people who don't have any and help those in their most vulnerable state. Now, when it comes to what the meaning of life means to other people, the government, the world, just people in general, there's going to be a wide variety of answers to that question. But the general consensus to most people would be that there's different periods of life that are meaningful, more meaningful than others, and some people even believe that certain individuals are more meaningful than others. It just depends on who you ask. You'll get a different answer each time. That brings me to my second point, which is why you should know everybody's meaning of life is different and why that's okay. Obviously, like I had mentioned just a few seconds ago, the more people you ask, the more different answers you're going to get. Not one person is the same as another. Everybody has different needs, aspirations, wants, thoughts, actions, and it's quite okay not to have the same answer as another person. You may think that they're further ahead in life or they've got more in life than you, and that's quite okay. Not everybody is meant to grow or adapt or anything at the same rate as another person. And that's okay. And even if people were all the same, life would be quite boring, wouldn't it? And another different quality that comes up when talking about the meaning of life is religion. When talking about the meaning of life, most people think of life and death, and that obviously brings up the topic of religion. There is different gods, higher powers, for every religion, every cult, every different sort of belief system. And for me personally, it did come down to life or death. That doesn't have to be the case for everyone. Different people have different higher powers or gods, and some people don't even have a belief in religion at all, and that's perfectly okay. That does bring me to my final point, which is, how can we use this information to better our future self? Well, one way is to realize that there's something deeper that you can be a part of. Once you realize you have a purpose in this life, you're going to feel this gravitational pull towards something, and it's going to drive you wild till you figure out what it is. And there's an author named Jason Woods, and he once said, "Think of uncovering your passion like the work of a master sculptor. Your passion is slowly being revealed by the chipping away of wood or stone, and it's just waiting to peek through once that final masterpiece is complete." And once you realize what your passion is, you can become a better person. or vice versa. You can become a better person by realizing what your passion is. So you may have to ask yourself a couple of questions, such as like, what has brought you immense joy? Any actions, certain people being around, activities? Has that changed from childhood to high school to adulthood? Are there any things that have interested you or thought that you would love to experience? Anything that's brought you amazing joy, anything like that. And once you find that sort of area that has interested you, try and find some common ground. And once you find that common ground and find something that brings immense joy to you every time you think about it, it's probably a good chance it's going to be in your life's calling. And once you find your life's calling, you'll be able to help better yourself and your family. Now, in closing, I hope over the past few minutes that you have learned what the meaning of your life is, why everybody's meaning of life is different, and how you can use this to better your future self. I want you to take this information, find your passion, find your purpose in life, and use this to better yourself, your family, your friends, and even by doing that, you could better the world. I do want to leave you with one quote from a gentleman named Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. The man who was born with a talent which he is meant to use finds his greatest happiness in using it. Thank you for listening to my video, and I hope everyone has a great rest of the school year, and I hope you do well in life. Have a good night.